All right, what's
And
going on? You scared me. Perfect way to intro. Right, we're unedited, we're live right from the get-go here. How's it going, everyone? My name is Ryan Omeasoo, and I'm with Fighter Fit X, and this is our Fall in Love with Fitness Summit. Now, this is a pre-recorded event, not filmed in front of a live studio audience. We do have lovely Marlena here. So, introducing Marlena Markham. Marlena is a highly respected professional with more than a decade of experience dedicated to helping clients achieve their financial goals and build meaningful success. Her commitment to excellence and impact in her field earned her a National Canadian Business Award. Bah, 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 bah. Amazing, amazing. Recognizing her for her leadership, integrity, and dedication to service. Marlena's depth of knowledge and proven track record make her an inspiring voice in today's conversation. So, Marlena, the stage is yours.
thank you, Ryan. And thanks for shaving off a few years here. I feel 10 years younger. My name is Marlena. As Ryan said, I am a family wealth advisor. I take care of family wealth for 160 households here in Canada and a few abroad. I've been in the industry about 26 years now. Yes, that's why. So thanks for shaving off a decade. But yes, about 26 years now, and I love what I do. It is a pretty high stress environment, but I do love what I do, which is why I've been doing it for over 26 years. Yeah. I first became involved in fitness because I became pre-diabetic in 2002, 2003. And so my doctor said actually at that time that I had the liver uh, of a 50-year-old that's eaten and drank too much their entire lives. And I was, I was probably like 30 at the time or something like that. So became a bit serious. I actually had to I had to do a little bit of changes with my eating, and I started to incorporate regular exercise. I was doing a Taibo in the morning with those videotapes, and uh, going to the gym and doing the Mari Windsor Pilates and stuff like that. I had the total gym. I had all these things at home, and it was great. And I was able to control my pre-diabetes for about 20 years just by changing a little bit of the portions of what I ate. I still ate the same things. It's just the carbs kind of went down a little bit to sort of bring my glucose level down and be able to manage my sugar levels with just changing a little bit of how I eat and also adding a little bit of regular exercise. But I started actually enjoying the process of the exercise and how I felt, and I loved doing a variety of things like kickboxing, hot yoga, Pilates, running, salsa dancing. Actually, it was supposed to be a social thing, but really, it's a lot of exercise. If you've ever done it, it's a fun exercise. So when I've just always associated it with stress busting. Actually, with work being the way that it was and very stressful, it was a really nice way for me to be able to relieve stress. Um, and the pandemic hit, and I kind of let everything go. And I met Ryan. When I met Ryan, actually, I just after the pandemic, I had a frozen shoulder and all of that stuff. And luckily, I met Ryan, and all the things that I like were all wrapped up into one. I didn't have to go anywhere. He had the kickboxing, he had the gym stuff, he had the mobility stuff, and helped me with everything. And of course, he, yeah, with the personality and everything to boot, right? So, um, and unwittingly, Ryan kind of became a bit of a therapist as well. Like I would finish work and I would go into my workout with Ryan. And I'd be like, And then Ryan would just be like listening, and then he goes, "Keep doing this, 1, 2, 3," And before I know it, I'd focus on the exercise, and I'd get through the session, and afterwards I'd feel great, and I'd be like, "Thanks, Ryan, what a great session!" Because now all of a sudden I had worked everything off, had my endorphins, and it really helped to maintain my A1C and started bringing it down. So it was a really good way to be able to do that. But I think mentally speaking, having that endorphin hit and having that regular exercise and being able to kind of expel some stress, work stress, and all of that has been really, really helpful to me. As I started leading our team, the last 7 years, there's been a lot of things going on in the markets, been very challenging. We had a pandemic, we have a couple of wars going on, we have tariffs going on. Anyway, there's a lot. And so I continue to use the tools that I learned through Ryan, and an important thing actually working with Ryan, I started to apply some of this stuff. What I really liked was that um, Ryan was different. Like he wasn't kind of yelling at me, like I mean, I've always had trainers and stuff before, but Ryan met me where I was at, which is really important. And it really resonated with my personality because for me, if somebody's yelling at me saying you should be doing 20 push-ups, you should da, 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 it really makes me feel a bit dejected. But Ren, he starts you there. He's like, okay, no, that's okay. Do what you could do, and then it resonates with me because my kind of personality is I always want to do better than the last time, right? So it was very encouraging, like if you do 10 push-ups or whatever, and then you're like, that's great. And then I come out, I'm like, I'm going to do 11, and so that really was good in terms of doing that. And but what it taught me in leading a team is also to kind of do the same thing. So that was very valuable, for me to learn. I'm like, oh, that works with me. Maybe I'll go try it. And it's a really effective tool. And the reason I tried it is because I didn't feel judged. It was just more, you're doing the best that you can, and it brings out even more out of you, in performance wise and all of that. And I also learned to be a little bit kinder to myself when I'm because I'm my biggest critic, or I'm hardest on myself, you know. And so when I started learning to be a little bit more, hey, if this is all you can do today, that's okay. Do better next time. It really did help me with coping, as opposed to feeling down for not achieving something, which is, for a person like mine, is kind of a bit of a downward slope. So I really do appreciate being able to take some of the things that I learned and being able to apply it to a team, and being able to lead a team. It's been wonderful. I also wanted to say that uh, one of the things I think that Ryan wanted me to speak to was, what are the things I'm proud of, or what tips would I give my younger self, and all of that. My upbringing uh, kind of involved. I was a very old-fashioned upbringing. The family wealth was sort of, or the family household finances were controlled kind of by my grandfather or my father or whatever. And I think in my formative years, like with whether through death or divorce or whatever, I've always witnessed the females in my family kind of in a bit of a panic, or like in a paralysis, because they didn't know what to do, or didn't even know where the bank accounts were or anything like that. So I think I was working in a different industry for 10 years before this one, and our company was bought out, so everybody lost their jobs. So I thought, okay, well, this means I'm going to go into this industry because I think the loudest thing in my head kind of growing up was, you're always going to have to be, make sure you can take, because anything can kind of happen. So I think that's why I was very, it wasn't anything about the financial security, was more of an security blanket as well, you know, um, as opposed to what I would this growing up. So coming into this industry was a bit of a blessing because I got to, and I'm always learning. It's a very humbling business. Every time you think you know something, you get slapped upside the head. So that's why it's very engaging, because I'm always learning, right? So that's my kind of proud moments. I think I'm not a very proud person, but what I will say is that when I'm helping kind of get to from point A to point B, or where they want to go, what their goals are. They've had children, they have grandchildren, they're retiring, they're all that sort of stuff. I'm very, very proud and honored, actually, to be able to help people to go from point A to point Z or point Z. Um, and it's a privilege, because this is hard earned life savings, of people, and it's something I take very, very seriously. And there are a lot of proud moments where we started working together 20 years ago, and then we get to a certain milestone, they're retiring and stuff now, or if it was the younger one, and they're buying into place, or whatever it is that they're doing, you're kind of part of all their lives, right? And I get to help people, kind of like, especially the women in my, I was too young to help the women in my family at that time. And now, through my work, helping widows or divorcees, or, the younger people, right? Things that I wish I'd known when in my 20s, I'm able to sort of impart that now and have a better outcome for other people, right? So it's I think that's my biggest uh, satisfaction, I guess, or what I am kind of proud of. And yeah, this time around, the last time that there was something that happened, am old enough, or I was old enough, to be able to help the women in my family. So it's great. It's almost like a do-over that you get to do over and over and over again, but with different people. So it's a very satisfactory thing, or probably why I'm still very engaged in this business as well. Um, and the other thing that's very rewarding is paying it forward. So I learned, I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. It was very, very, very hard, kind of growing up in this business. There wasn't a lot of mentors. There were a few, and I was so grateful for any kind of time that anybody would spend. And then I would kind of take the rest on myself and learn it myself. Consequently, being on the other side of things, I'm always trying to teach the next generation, and anybody else that kind of is new to the industry or whatever. I'm trying to make sure that they're getting something that I didn't get. And, for those few people that did help me along the way, in the early years, I can never repay that. And the only way to repay it is to be able to pay it forward, and I try to, I do a lot of creative things, a lot of over the years, and a lot of them have been trained and go on to lead, have a livelihood in other areas, or how we go on to motherhood and come back to this industry and be able to continue on with their career, right? And do things like job sharing and stuff between moms, so that with young kids, so then that way they can still have motherhood, but still have a foot in their career. uh, it's a privilege to be able to do that for other people. And I hope that And there I know that they're going to be paying it forward to others as well. So it kind of multiplies. Um, yeah, so these are the things that have kept me engaged and feeling very rewarded. Um, but I still feel like everybody is a work in progress, you know. I recently tried something new. I mean, the last 7 years, as I mentioned, was a bit challenging and stuff, and I kept kind of coming up with this obstacle or a recurring issue. And finally, things kind of came to a head a couple of weeks ago, and I really approached things differently this time. Like I was very intentional and very deliberate. I said, well, you know what? Rather than react the way I normally react, I'm just going to approach it a little bit differently. When I did a bit of reverse engineering, and I thought, you know, I'm going to, what do I want to come out of this? What do I want this to look like in 1 or 2 years' time, or whatever the goal was? And then I worked myself backwards, and I just said, okay, well, this is what I want it to look like. How do I get there? How does everybody get what they want? We had the meeting, everything went okay, and everybody got what they wanted. Everybody was like, thank you. That was a great productive meeting. So it was a great breakthrough. And I was telling Ryan earlier, I said, you know, it's really weird. Like just being able to have that meeting and have everybody, that normally is sort of a bit of a contentious meeting and there's a lot of emotions involved and then tempers flare up and stuff. You know, to have such a different meeting was so amazing. And everybody came to like an agreement just by making a little bit of a switch, you know? And I was just telling Ryan earlier on my walk today, normally, you know, over the last 7 years, I guess I've normalized, like, I mean, I love walking. I walk every day. I guess I've gotten really used to working out my work issues or problems while I'm trying to walk because I'm trying to multitask. I'm so busy trying to keep up with things. So the last 7 years don't really have a lot of time. So I suppose as I'm going through my walk, I'm really trying to resolve issues. But since this issue was resolved, I'm really back to the way it was before the last 7 years. You know, I'm actually, yeah, I feel so light. I was like, I said, something's different today. Like, I don't understand. What's different? I'm like, oh, there's nothing in my head. You know? Yeah, I was like, no, seriously, there's nothing in my head. I'm completely present. I'm loving this. You know, I love cold, sunny days. So I was really able to enjoy things. And yeah, it was just that one thing, you know, really changed stuff for me. And so I guess what I wanted to leave you with today is, you know, I'm always constantly trying something new. We are all works in progress. And for me trying something new resulted in something really, really positive. And I'm actually kind of finding very unintentionally that certain things are coming into my life that are welcome now. You know, I feel like I've removed a blockage of some sort and signal to the universe or whoever that I'm ready for good things. And, you know, and maybe that's why I feel so much lighter and I'm not bogged down you know, and so I'm going to kind of continue doing this. And now that I've kind of freed up a little bit of space, I fully intend on trying to focus really, and this hard earned, now that I've drawn my boundaries and all of that stuff, this hard earned kind of personal time is going to be, I think I want to dedicate it to trying to fill myself up again so that I can continue to give to others. You know, my energy was depleted, you know, the last 7 years, and now I'm feeling it coming back. Like I feel things that are meetings that are more energizing as opposed to draining and dreading and exhausting. And I'm like, now, you know, when I'm having a meeting with like-minded people, I feel like there's like a snip snap going on, and it's really energizing to me. And, you know, last night I did a fundraiser for Make-A-Wish BC, and it was a paint and wine night, and I hadn't painted for since I was a kid, I think, in school. And what a nice therapeutic thing. And I was like, it's such a little thing, but really just, it was nice. It was like a vacation for my brain. And this is exactly what I needed. So, and those are the things I just wanted to share with you today. And, Ryan, thanks for giving me this opportunity. It was great. And happy birthday, by the way.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Thank you for sharing all that. It's the 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 continuous learning. Always want to be a better individual, to be better for your clients, to always have that mindset of growth, of not having being limited in your situation, but how can I improve? How can I become better? That is that is why you got that award for sure, because that recognition is the values that are set in those characteristics. That's what the world needs. That's what the people need to see and hear, and to see that and to watch it live, because when we are younger in our profession, we need those mentors, and sometimes we don't have access to that. So we need stories to hear to motivate us to become that person, and to think, okay, well, what's Marlena going to be, in the future? What's the outcome? And reverse engineering, that is a huge breakthrough for a lot of people to understand and grasp how powerful that is. Because for myself, the Ryan that I want to become, well, that Ryan in the future, he doesn't have these negative characteristics. He doesn't have these negative habits. He has different habits, more healthier, more optimistic. I'm not being controlled by my past behaviors that kept me in a bubble, right? So now thinking of, okay, well, if I want to be this person, I need to, be healthier. I need to have positive people in my life. I need to continue learning. I gotta make sure that, what the input that I bring into my somewhat brain is the more leadership qualities, just like how you are, like how you live your life. And that's beautiful for what you share with us, and having what you've done to handle stress. A lot of people have, like, so we have painting, we have salsa dancing, we have kickboxing, we have vlogging, right? So all these things can help us navigate through this world that can be negative. And then you touch base with the news and stuff, what's going on. And yes, there is, and unfortunately, going to be stuff like that. But how we respond, how you respond to that is your power. By, what, I'm going to do what I can and be positive and be that beacon of light for others to see. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing, is like I just focus on the things that I can control,
Hmm.
right? And if I watch all the news, I think I'd, I mean, I do watch all the news and I try to compartmentalize it, but, it is true. I just always have to focus on what I can control, put one foot in front of the other, do what I can do. If it's one mobility exercise and one chore and one errand today, that's okay.
Exactly.
It used to be like, no, you must clean the entire thing. You must do this, 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 and this, or you're a failure. But no, it's just, you know what? It's okay. Like,
Hmm.
just do better tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, for sure. And just to when you were saying how, once you recently came through after the 7 years, and addressing this block, now that you're seeing other things are aligning, other things are like, hey, like
Yeah.
your like your data is just being so consumed by all these apps, but then now you deleted some of those apps, and now you have room for yourself to
Yeah,
continue growing. You have room for
for
yourself
sure.
to see outside of your the work or stress related issues, and now you have this, like we were just talking before, you have a whole new world, right? It's our
Exactly. It's so
shifted.
true. Yeah, it's so true. I am. It's like this mysterious thing that's going on that I don't really understand, but I do look forward to learning a lot more about it. Like
Yeah.
it's great. So yeah, you've been through a lot of tough times with me over the last 3 years. Like a lot of dark moments. So I think you can probably see a bit of a difference. You
Yes,
know, because
for
I
sure.
do feel like I feel lighter, much lighter. So
Beautiful. Good, good, good. Yeah. So, for just to finish up here, being that leader, being paying it forward, making sure you deal with the stress in a positive way, and to also to do the best you can to identify or how can you become or how can you address that blockage or stress head on so you can open up to a lot more opportunities for yourself for personal growth, for relationships, and also for, of course, your business and career. All right, so thank you for sharing with that with us, Marlena. Yeah, thank you. My birthday roll as of this recording is October 17th. My birthday is on the 22nd. But thank you for that. And yeah, we will conclude it there. So keep an eye out for Marlena and her burpees through her social media account. Just kidding. Marlena. And we have goodbye. Goodbye for now.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you.